Hey everybody, it's Jeff. Now you already know from the thumbnail, the title, and the intro that this $301 kiln from VEVOR can make some bad to the bone raku pots. Now full disclosure, VEVOR did send me this kiln, but my opinions and experiences shared in this video are my own and were not influenced by VEVOR in any way, shape, or form. Raku is one of the most exciting, immediate, and rewarding ways to finish a piece of pottery. You can go from bisqueware to finished glazed piece in about an hour. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use this kiln, who it would be good for, and you can learn from my mistakes, which I made a lot. So let's go together and make some pots. And I think this is one of my messages throughout this video, that this is a $300 kiln. And if you pair it with this $100 wheel from VEVOR, I mean, for 400 bucks, it comes with everything you need. It comes with the raku tongs, it comes with the gloves, it comes with the kiln. The wheel comes with all the tools. All you need to do is get yourself a $4 trash can from Goodwill and some clay, and you're rocking and rolling. So let's get into the video. We got our bisqueware here, and you all know that I usually throw lately in porcelain. And I did a little test with my porcelain, and it's just a little bit too thermal shock fragile for this raku process. So I thought a stoneware would be better. And so we got two different kinds of stoneware. I originally just threw it in this number 90 stoneware, which is a dark stoneware from Laguna. It's beautiful at cone 6, but I was thinking that some of the raku glazes might not show up that well on the dark clay. So we also have some B-mix here, pots of B-mix that we're gonna try. I threw them all very smooth so they can highlight the beauty of the raku glazes, and also try to make forms that would show off any flame movements and really just have a lot of volume to them, and it's going to be a big canvas for the flames to play on. And for glazes, my favorite, so I mixed this up. I haven't done raku in a long time, but back in college I liked raku a lot, and one of my favorite glazes was the copper matte, and this is a very simple copper matte recipe. It's 90% copper and it's 10% Frit 3110, and there's 2% of bentonite in there to float it, and I mix it very thin. It's very watery, like a thick milk, like a whole milk, and I'm going to paint that on. And then I thought I would try some other ones. Now this glaze, I'm a high school teacher, last day of school today, and this one right here, Copper Adventuring by Mako, is one of my students' favorite glazes. It gets used a lot in my classroom, and I always thought, hey, I bet that would look great in raku. So we're gonna give that a rip tonight. And if you've never tried hot tamale before, hot tamale looks great in just about any firing. It goes to cone 6 fine, it goes 04 fine, and a good friend of mine used to use it in raku a lot. And then we have just a basic white, or school white here, that'll look probably pretty nice and get a nice white crackle. So we'll try out these glazes, and we're gonna paint them on. I'm gonna do a little comparison with the copper matte. I already tried it on the porcelain. It looked awesome, but my pot cracked. So we'll try it out, what the difference is on these dark stoneware versus the B-mix, and see which one works better. Now to prep for this, I'm gonna use a bunch of strips of newsprint paper, and this is what's gonna burn in the can and suck all the oxygen out of the air and cause what we call the reduction. So reduction just means the reduction of oxygen, and that's going to create all the really awesome colors. If you think about a material like copper, copper can be several colors, right? If you think about the Statue of Liberty, it's been oxidized, or a lot of oxygen has hit it, so it turns that green color. A brand new penny hasn't had much exposure to the oxygen yet, so it's that red color. So a lot of raku glazes have a lot of copper in it, and they're very reactive to the reduction of the oxygen in the air. You think about like how a penny, if you get it like wet or you get the salt water in it, it'll tarnish and turn different colors. Sometimes they even get really green color. You get an actual real penny. So it's kind of the same thing. Now, so I'm gonna use the newspaper for that, or the newsprint, I'm sorry. Like, who still gets the newspaper, right? But a lot of people might be tempted to use something like this. I just got this in the mail today. It's like one of these ad packets. And if you look at it, the paper is very shiny. And so these are usually not very good for reduction, because what happens is they impregnate the clay with kaolin, or clay. And they do that to make it all nice and shiny and make the ads look really good. However, the downside is because it's covered in, or it's basically impregnated with clay, it doesn't burn very good. So you want to get something that's just a regular newsprint. You could also use anything combustible if you have leaves or if you have sawdust or anything like that will work. I mean, this is just really convenient and works, so that's what we're using. This is my reduction pit setup. I just have this little can, this metal can that I got from Goodwill for $4, and then I go straight on the ground, right in the sand. We don't have dirt in Florida. We have sand. There's no dirt here, and this is where I park my boat, so it's just sand and weeds. But if you don't have that, and you can either put some sand down on the ground first, or what most people do is flip the can right side up, put the paper in the bottom, and then put a lid on the can. That works just as good. All right, just like before, we're gonna put down a kiln shelf. That's gonna protect the bottom of the kiln in case the glaze drones a little bit. And it also lifts it up off the bottom a little bit, so it'll be a little bit more even temperature. I'm gonna put it in there. I'm gonna close her up. Okay, our temperature outside is 27 degrees. This is Celsius. And so we're gonna push the U button. That's gonna make this blink. That means it's about ready to be changed. And go up and down for our target temperature. And remember, water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. So we're gonna lower this to about 80, just so we can preheat it and burn off all that steam so our pot doesn't crack. And 70 will do. 70 is good enough. Okay, and then we're gonna press the P button, which is gonna make the equal sign up here. That equal sign blinking at this number means it's rising in temperature. So we're firing right now. It's gonna hit 71 degrees and it's gonna stop at 71 degrees and hold. We're gonna let it burn some of that moisture off. We wanna take it nice and slow. It wouldn't be a classic Huebner adventure without a little drama and a little thunderstorm to spice things up a little bit. I definitely didn't check the weather, and that just storm came rolling right out of the south and went right over us. Lots of thunder. It was quick though. We're backfiring. I do a quick series of holds to make sure the temperature doesn't rise too fast, and then we go right up to 980. My whole life, I've been a night owl. I love being up at night, the magic, the peace of the nighttime. And I always question why people did Raku during the day. It is so beautiful and peaceful at night. Look at that pot glow. It lights up my whole backyard, and it's so much fun. If you, after you do Raku once or twice, definitely do it at night. It is just a glorious sight to see those red hot pots come out and then them light up in fire. It's just something else. It's so much fun. Do it at night. Once the paper starts on fire, I begin to add more paper. You want as much flames as you can get. Those flames are going to leave all kinds of really cool patterns on your pots. Now, my mistake here was because of the rain, all the paper was wet and the ground was a little wet. And so I had a little hard time keeping everything burning. And let it burn for about a minute and then go ahead and put your can on. This is called the burp. So you lift the lid open when, it's been about 3 or 4 minutes. Lift the lid open, put some more paper down there, let it flame up again. And those flames will leave marks all over, and you can actually see the colors dance on the pots when you burp it. But again, I had wet newspaper here and it was actually still raining. So I was kind of disappointed with the way the pot turns out. But you can see right here, I didn't get much flames around the pots. And because of that, it came out a little bit on the oxidized look. Here you can see that when I flip this over where it was buried in the paper, it's actually quite beautiful. So if I would have had more paper all the way around it, it would have turned out better. But a little trick is while they're still hot, if you hit them with a torch, they'll light back up and you can actually watch the colors change. And it's pretty cool, but it's not natural. And I like natural things here. And you just got to be careful not to hit it too long because you can crack it. But if you hit it while it's still hot, usually they don't crack. Here is the results from last night's firing. I could not be more happy with the color. Wow. Would you look at that copper? I mean, this is amazing. But I did make one big error, and that is the pot is too big for the kiln. And you can see because the kiln, the lid is convex, it sticks out. And I didn't put the pot far enough back. And because of that, it got a little mark on it right there. I actually think the mark kind of looks good, and it's not rough or anything. And I don't think it really hurt the kiln. It's just that ceramic fiber. But that's something I did see in another YouTuber's video after I already did this, mess this up. I was watching it while I was waiting for the kiln to cool down. So that is something I need to think about. And all of the other pots I made, I realized are not going to fit in here. So I came up with a creative solution. I'm going to ride down to the beach in between the rainstorms and see if I can pick up some seashells. We're going to fire the pot sideways. I think it'll work, but no guarantees. So I'm going to arrange these seashells in a little triangle. And typically, when we do this for wood firing or for gas firing or for electric firing, we would fill this with clay for a high fire. And this is just calcium. But my hunch is that it's going to hold up in this low fire raku. So the pot we're going to try first has got that raku matte glaze on it. So even if it doesn't hold up, if this does collapse, which I don't think it's going to, it won't damage the kiln because it's not going to flux out. It's a matte glaze and it's just like a oxide, so it won't hurt the kiln at all. So I'm just estimating it. I want it towards the back. I'm just estimating, and I'm going to make a little triangle, these seashells, and then I'm going to stack the pot on here. Careful not to touch the back of it. Is that going to fit? It's not going to fit. Might have to get some smaller shells. Be right back. All right, I got it in there on the seashells. I got 4 seashells there, probably only needed 3. It's not touching the back wall, it's not touching the front wall, it's not touching the side wall. I think we're good to go. This ended up being the best routine for this kiln. I'd fired up to 950. This was still hotter than 950, but later I learned that 950 is the ideal temperature. And I would let the pot cool down until it started turning black. And I think what was happening earlier, it was the pot was too hot and it was re-oxidizing. So just let it cool down a little bit. And then the other key was lots of paper. I would just put a ton of paper in that pit and really sink it into that paper so it's really reducing that copper and sucking all the oxygen out of there. And I would just let it burn for a little bit. Again, I think it was getting too hot earlier and the heat was re-oxidizing it when it ran out of paper to burn. So just letting it burn for a little bit, adding in more paper. You can see, look at the flames dancing on that. Oh my goodness. And then I would just put a ton of paper on there and more paper and more paper. I think you get the idea. And then a little bit more paper. And when I put the can on this, I'm going to be quiet for a second so you can hear it, but it literally sucks the air out of the can. I was really happy with these pots. This is what I was going for when I first started. I feel like this embodies everything good about Raku and pottery in general. It shows the natural movement of the flames. It highlights the natural materials. Remember back from that picture of that malachite copper rock in Colorado I showed at the beginning? It almost looks just like that. I just love how it records the movement of the flame and it captures it timelessly forever. This is what I was going for. I'm really happy with the way these turned out. Well, everybody, it is way late, like way after 10. And I got up way early today. I've been doing Raku all day today. Or I've been taking pictures of the Raku, or I've been cleaning up the Raku, or I've been editing the video or the photos. And I smell like a smoked sausage. So that must mean it must be final thoughts on the kiln time. Final thoughts, I really liked it. And I didn't think I was going to. And I was trying to figure out why I liked it. And I think why I like it so much is 2 reasons. One, it gives the opportunity to do things with one piece of equipment that you cannot normally do with unless you have a specialized thing. Okay, for example, the Raku. I haven't done Raku in 15 years. Why? I don't have a Raku kiln. But that kiln does Raku. It also goes to cone 6. It also does low fire. It also does lusters. So you don't need a special piece of equipment because it does all of them at a price point that you don't have to worry about if you make a mistake. I bumped a pot in the door. It wasn't a big deal. If that was a $4,000 kiln, it would have been a big deal. Wasn't a big deal. It was just fun. And because it's so small, it tightens that feedback loop. Fire pot, take it out, learn, change. My last pot, whoa, it's still hot. I cannot wait to take a picture of this. It's really hot. It is incredible. I'm actually really proud of this. I've been doing pots my entire life, and I'm really proud of this pot. And I normally wouldn't be super proud of a 1 pound little vase, but I love the way this looks. The shell print on it, the color. I glazed the bottom and it came out exactly how I wanted to. It records the movement and it captures all my ideas. So do I like the kiln? I like it a lot. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. It does it really well at a really low cost. Are you going to outgrow it? Yes. It's small. You have to make small pots. You can only fire 1 pot at a time. You're going to outgrow it. But it's $300. You can afford to outgrow it. And the second reason why I like it is it allows people that don't have a lot of money or don't belong to a community studio to get started. When I was 17, I dreamed of having my own kiln. I dreamed for years and years and years. And I don't think I got my own kiln, like my own kiln. I'm pretty sure I was in my 30s, mid-30s, when I got my own kiln. It took me that long. And same with the pottery wheel. I borrowed pottery wheels. I used them at studios. I used them at college. All kinds of stuff. It took me I was probably 27 when I got my first pottery wheel. With this VEVOR setup, it comes with everything. It comes with the Raku gloves. It comes with the tongs. The wheel comes with the tools. For $400, you can get a wheel and a kiln. That's unheard of. The next kiln close to that one, like a legacy kiln manufacturer, is $1,400. So you could buy a kiln and a wheel and still save $1,000 what you would just for a kiln that it's small and you're going to outgrow it anyway. So I think that's an incredible deal. It allows young people that are just starting out, to try it without being committed to where they're going to worry about, losing some money on a piece of equipment. It also allows you to try things out. If you don't like it, no big deal. You move on. So I really liked it. I'm super proud of this piece right here. This is the one I learned the most on. There were some ugly ones. This thing, about as ugly as it gets. It's the copper adventuring. I fired it too hot. I thought it would look better hotter. It looked worse. It dripped everywhere. It's terrible. This one, thought it would look better and firing it a second time. Came out worse the second time. There's one other nice one I left inside. This is one of the copper adventuring ones too. Didn't look how I thought it was going to look, but it's got a really nice subtle glitter to it. It's kind of nice, but I already knew I loved copper matte, and I'm super proud of these 3. I had fun making them. I really appreciate you watching. Click that thumbs up if you wouldn't mind for me. That really helps me out. I'm really trying to build this YouTube channel up from where it used to be. And I appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next one.